Hello ladies and gents, what's going on with the Pulsar? So a bit of a sit down discussion based video today. I've also got my dog here, which you guys don't see too much of, but there you go. So thought we'd do an update video on basically what's happening with the Pulsar. Now the Pulsar is actually one of the main cars on this channel which launched it, I guess you could say. I mean, I obviously had my Nissan 370Z, and then I also had the pickup truck. But the Pulsar is really what a lot of you guys have wanted to follow along, and it's been gone for some time. Why has it been gone? What's going on with it? And if you don't know, and you're sort of just popping by into this video randomly, I've got a Nissan Pulsar GTiR, and it was the cheapest in the country when I bought it. I picked it up for about £6,000, I think, if I remember rightly. Did some work on it, did a bunch of videos on it and stuff like that. Drove it, and then the engine essentially failed. It dumped all of its coolant, engine failed, and now it'd been off. I think it was off either in October or November. I think it was in October, in fairness, for an engine rebuild, complete engine rebuild, and it's been there ever since. It was due to come back before Christmas. It's still not back now. We are in March. Now this is it's nobody's fault. We've obviously had large portions of issues with parts and things like that. And just loads of problems as well, FYI. So I thought we'd do an update on what's going on. What's the current state of it? The current state, and then we'll work backwards to why it's taking so long and what's going on with it. Current state is that the engine is now in the car. So there'll be a bunch of photos during this video, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But the engine is back in the car, complete with brand new turbo. So a brand new and upgraded turbo. It also, has obviously it's fully forged, so forged rods and pistons, metal head gaskets, all that jazz. Slightly overboard, so slightly oversized pistons, and that's now in the engine bay. What's happening from there is they've got to do wiring, check the fuel tank for a leak, and then I believe I can pick it up. Now it won't be tuned at that point because it had a brand new clutch put in it, and then I'm going to have to do its 300 to 500 mile run in. Which is just daily driving, super boring, no boost, or as little boost as possible, because the engine obviously is brand new. It's had one oil change. This will then have its run-in time, so it's had some run-in, but then it will need another run-in, which is what I will be doing with it. Then it will have an oil change for fully synthetic. Then it will be mapped and tuned to perform the best of its ability. But why is it taking so long? Well, Jesus, like a lot of it is just really unfortunate timing. So, the engine was completely torn apart. You guys would have seen in a previous video that the crankshaft needed to be completely replaced, right? The crankshaft was replaced pretty quickly, but obviously that caused a delay. And at each point when delays occur, it's a moving motorsports garage. There's a lot of cars that they work on, so at each point that there's a delay, my car sort of gets shuffled back a little bit, which is completely fair enough, and I understand. But then there was silly little things that started to happen. So they would get the engine together, and then they were like, we need to reshim the head. Reshimming the head took bloody forever, and I don't know why. They got the test shims in relatively quickly and at relatively big expense. They're like 150 quid, not cheap. But then the proper shims, which were then obviously measured and things like that, did take a reasonable length of time. And then again, there was another delay. There was a delay for turbo hoses. Turbo hoses apparently are like gold dust at this point in time. I don't know why. I've got no idea why. I mean, if anyone wants to tell me why turbo hoses are really hard to come by, and apparently parts are really hard to get hold of in general in the UK at the moment. For whatever reason, maybe it's just this car. I don't know. But the turbo is a relatively common turbo, so turbo hoses should have been okay. And then obviously people went on vacation, and it's just been this really long, slow slog to get to this stage where finally the engine is in the car. The heart of the beast, the heart of baby Godzilla is back in. So yeah, so what is happening with the Pulsar? What's the update? The update is I'm due a call or a text any day now to basically say, come and get the car. You can come and get it. You can't drive it hard, but you can come and get it. And then we'll be doing its run-in. Now, you know, I will be talking you through all of that. And I will be talking you through the final invoice I receive and being as upfront and honest as possible about actually how much it's all cost. This channel does not have any sponsors. We don't get anything at a discounted rate. There is no one helping us do these builds at all. And I think, you know, you guys that are working on your vehicles yourself, this is probably the best representation of what this would actually cost you to get a cheap Nissan Pulsar and then get it built. Because, you know, you go watch even a lot of the YouTubers will just get stuff for free, or, you know, mates rates, etc. This is an invoice which will be fully paid for by me. Not subsidized in any way, shape or form. You know, Horsham Developments don't do anything like that. It's just not what they do. We haven't even asked them, to be honest, and if they wanted to do it, they probably would have just said. So we'll do a complete price breakdown, and I still think it'll be cheaper than buying a brand new, not a brand new one, but one that was in really good condition. There was a lot of problems with this engine. It had been sat for a really long time. Problems which you just wouldn't have known about until you'd obviously got the car, because you can't take the engine apart when you're buying a car. It's just nothing you can do. So it's unfortunate, but it was cheap for a reason. But I'm holding out hope that this is still going to be really good value for money. Fingers crossed, because it's probably still not going to. I honestly, like, all jokes aside, I still think this is going to be good value for money. I still actually think that, you know, in terms of all costing, all in, it'll be under what it would cost. You know, under what it would cost to buy a built car, basically, a built GTiR. But we'll see. So that's the current state we're in. Engine's back in the car now, for now, and I'm due to go and get it, and then we'll start doing some more videos on it, because we've got. Hopefully, we'll be taking it to a car show. It won't be doing any revs or anything like that, but, you know, take it there. It'll be nice to. I've got to run it in, haven't I? I've got to drive it, and then just taking it on some drives, just to drive it around, basically. And again, some of this will be documented, some of it won't. And then hopefully we can just chuck it straight back to Horsham, and they can do that oil change to, you know, go fully synthetic, and then tune it, and then we'll take it back properly and thrash the living shit out of the car and really enjoy it, because that's what I want to do with this car. This is not, you know, a paperweight. This will be something that really does get out there, and will be enjoyed. In fact, I've moved to a new place, which you've seen in another video, and I found a really nice driving road that I want to take that car on. It's as close. It's not a lot of it, but it's as close to like a Tuge, you know, the Japanese sort of mountain roads. It's quite close to that. It's very, very cornery. There's so many corners, and I think that car will really. I took the Z down there. It was great fun. So there you go. There's the update on the Pulsar, and there's a bit of boring updates, but you guys will probably want to know this, and then moving forwards, we'll get some better content coming out about it. But if you do want to support the builds in any way, shape, or form, we've got Patreon. It's linked down below in the description box. It's a really great way to help support the channel and the builds that you've enjoyed watching, and, you know, speed up the content, because this stuff is so expensive. You know, getting a car built is not cheap, and, you know, even if you just contribute like £5 via Patreon, you're paying for the fuel, which will be then in a video that you'll enjoy us driving around in the cars. So check it out. It's down below. You don't have to, but there's some benefits to it, like early content and stuff. So check it out. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Cheers. Love you all. Bye-bye.